or it means a little bank that you keep in the house and put coins in for the poor. On Krakmano Street in Warsaw, we always had a push key. So how much did you win? $10,000. Piff, poff, that much? For that I should get a commission. Sounds like my grandfather. I didn't bet. I seldom bet. I just follow Moishe in the green sheet. I'm not a wealthy man, you know. I read somewhere that you had maybe 90 different bank accounts when you died. That's true. Singer did. He didn't know where they were, but he did. That many? Maybe so. More or less, who counts? But if I did, I couldn't remember where they were. So what do you do now for money? He grins that sly, impish grin at me. Ich machen Leben. What does that mean? Ich machen Leben, it means I make a living. Don't worry about me. Even I don't worry about me. What's to worry? I don't need money. What are you going to do with $10,000? I should give you a few thousand. You gave me the trifecta. No, I don't take money from friends or even strangers. I don't need money. So what are you going to do with the money? I think I'll take a trip. Where? Hungary. I want to see Budapest. I want to go to Hungary. Bye, Hungary. What have the Hungarians ever done for anyone? Who's ever heard anything good about Hungary? What have they ever given the world? Franz Liszt, maybe. Bela Bartok, maybe. That's about it. What have they ever done? All they've ever done is eat goulash and kill Jews. How many Jews did they kill in the Holocaust? I have no Rachmanis for the Hungarians. Rachmanis is sympathy. I don't know. I just want to go there and look around. I think they killed over 550,000 Jews. Even as the Russians advanced on Budapest, the Hungarians were still rounding up Jews and putting them on trains to Auschwitz. Eichmann came to Budapest. He was in charge. So don't be a fool. The whole world specializes in hating Jews. You don't have to go to Budapest to learn that. You know that little anti-Semitic worm, Ezra Pound? He maybe wrote one good line in his lifetime, quote, and I would rather have my sweet than do high deeds in Hungary. So stay here and forget Hungary. The Danube in Budapest is full of Jewish blood. At last, here in Miami Beach, you met a woman, a nice woman. She can cook for you, take care of you. She's not like some of those young Bolsheviks you've been running around with. The one who cut the Arab, what's her name? Leah Schneerman. So what do you need with a Leah Schneerman? That little bris cutter? Believe me, I've had enough Leah Schneermans in my life to write a novel about, several novels. But to make a delicious meal with some nice kasha, maybe an omelet, that they'll never do. So don't be a fool. Forget all the young women and concentrate on this one. Remember, take some advice from an elderly gentleman, the man who gave to you the Moishe trifecta. He gets up and wags his finger at me and begins to walk away. Then he turns back to me, tips his hat, and smiles. Geh gesund, he says. Go in good health. So that's it. All right, well, a little more water. How am I doing? Am I getting it? Without Mary Lou, my dear wife, I wouldn't be sitting there, believe me. So this song is for you.
Oh, you gotta give them the backstory, man.
The what?
They give them the backstory on the song.
Well, there's several songs. I'm not going to just play one.
Oh, there's a medley. Interesting.
This, I think, will be the nearness of you. If I blow it loud, I try to this afternoon. The missing note, it doesn't clog, so we'll see. It's not the pale moon. It's just the nearness of you. Oh, well, I'll play. David and I and Mary Lou went to Paris, and we brought the American Bookstore of Paris. There, I read in a little bookstore called the Red Wheelbarrow. Carlos Williams' poem, Everything Depends Upon a Red Wheelbarrow. And it was owned by a young Canadian woman, an English language bookstore. And we met a woman, Paula Blue, from Northbrook, who was a Holocaust survivor. She came to a reading at the Northbrook Library that I did, and she spoke. Her mother died. They were in a camp in Gurs in south eastern France. But the young girl survived, and she came to this country. And she asked David and me to, and Mary Lou was with us too, do two things. One, correct the spelling of her mother's name on the wall of survivors at the Paris Holocaust Museum. They had misspelled the mother's name. And we did that. We filed an affidavit. It was not difficult. And the second thing she asked was for me to play, because she'd heard me at Northbrook, the River Seine in honor of her mother, which I did. And Paula sang it to me on the telephone, and I never had really heard it. Kula, 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 la 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 la. So this is for Paula Blue and her mother and her memory. And the last, in 1938, that's a long time ago, I lived in Milwaukee, and I do think that I was different. When I came to Ravinia and moved in with all my friends, the Jewish kids knew nothing about the Holocaust. And of course, in '38, I don't think it really started. But what I knew that they didn't know, I saw the German-American Bund on the streets in Milwaukee and in the fields, dressed in khaki uniforms, wearing swastika armbands, the swastika flag flying. At least 1,000 men, I remember. We went to Port Washington outside of Milwaukee for a fish sandwich at Smith Brothers one Sunday afternoon. And there they were. I mean, here I was a 10-year-old boy, and I looked out. There were 1,000 people, all in the uniforms with swastikas, a flag flying with the swastika. And on the bridge, it was written in whitewash, "Kill the Jews." Now, when I came to Highland Park, I had a little different background than the people that are hanging around Lakeshore Country Club, believe me. So it never left me. It never left me. When you have memories like that, and the Milwaukee Journal published my story, Lederhausen Boys, I won't go into the story, but it took place at that time. I remember my dad was shocked to see his son's story on the front page of the Milwaukee Journal magazine with the Jewish Star and the concentration camp prisoners. But that vivid memory of that day never ever left me. So I knew when I came to Ravinia in '38 that there was a different mentality than what was going on in Highland Park. So in those Milwaukee days, I lived in a middle-class neighborhood, mostly, almost entirely a Catholic, Irish Catholic. And my best friend across the street, Bob Blake, taught me to play the harmonica. And I knew one song, Santa Lucia. Well, we went to amateur night at school, I think 6th grade, walking up Murray Avenue to Capitol Drive. And we had these high-top boots on, you know, with the secret compartments, with the harmonicas in the compartments. We got to the amateur night. Bob goes ahead of me and plays the one song that I knew, Santa Lucia. So ever since that day, I have always, at every event that I've ever gone to, played Santa Lucia, including, well, we were in Holland, 2010, not so long ago. Helen's family came from the northwestern portion of Holland. And I want to take David back to where they came from. And Mary Lou was with us. And lo and behold, we went into the church that I thought was where they had come from. Because on my honeymoon in 1960, I actually found the book where it was written in Dutch, Cornelius Johannes Voorhorst Vertrekken naar Amerika, 1848. We saw that book. We couldn't find it on this trip, but we did find the church, and when we went into the church, they were playing what song? Santa Lucia. I couldn't believe it. Apparently Santa Lucia is not just an Italian song about being out in the Bay of Naples and seeing from, you know, the shoreline. It's a universal song. So